Top 5 front-end frameworks in 2025, when to use them. React is still dominating, right? Or maybe it's time to switch to something faster, lighter, or just more to build with. In 2025, the front-end landscape is more competitive than ever, and choosing the right framework can make or break your project. We've got the heavy hitters, the fan favorites, and some serious up-and-comers all vying for the top spot. Speed, developer experience, ecosystem. How do you even choose? Don't worry, I got you. Let's break down the top 5 front-end frameworks you should know, and when each one shines. First up, the reigning champ, React. Backed by Meta, it's still the most popular front-end library out there. And you know what that means: massive ecosystem, tons of learning resources, and job opportunities galore. React's known for its component-based architecture and its use of JSX, which lets you write HTML-like syntax right inside your JavaScript. Now, it's not always the fastest kid on the block, especially for really complex apps. React uses a virtual DOM to optimize updates, but it's still doing work in the browser. That being said, React's been putting in the work. With Next.js for server-side rendering and React Server Components for, well, server components, React's getting faster and more efficient all the time. Plus, the developer experience is pretty solid. You've got a huge community, amazing documentation, and tools like React Developer Tools that make debugging a breeze. But let's be real, React can get a little verbose, especially when you're dealing with state management and side effects. You'll probably end up reaching for a state management library like Redux or Zustand to keep things organized. Overall, React's the go-to for large-scale apps, big teams, and projects where long-term maintainability is key. If you're looking for job security and a framework that's not going anywhere, React's still a top contender. Next up, we've got Vue.js, the framework that's often called the progressive framework, and honestly, that's a pretty accurate description. Vue is super approachable, even for beginners, but it can also scale up to handle some seriously complex applications. You can start with just the core library and sprinkle in more advanced features as you need them. One of Vue's biggest strengths is its reactivity system. It just works. You update data and Vue automatically updates the DOM. No need to worry about manually manipulating elements. And let me tell you, Vue's rendering engine it handles complex updates and transitions smoothly so your users get that buttery smooth experience. Now in the past, Vue got some flack for its Options API, which could get a little messy for larger projects. But Vue 3 changed the game with the Composition API. This gives you a more flexible and organized way to structure your components, especially as your app grows. But don't worry, if you love the simplicity of the Options API, you can still use that too. The documentation is top-notch, the community is super welcoming, and there's a growing ecosystem of tools and libraries. Vue's a fantastic choice for small to mid-sized apps, especially if you're a designer who's transitioning into development or a solo developer who wants to move fast. Alright, now it's time to talk about Svelte. Svelte's a bit different from the others on this list. It's not just a framework, it's a compiler. What does that mean for you? Blazing fast performance. Instead of running in the browser like traditional frameworks, Svelte compiles your code into super efficient vanilla JavaScript. That means smaller bundle sizes, faster load times, and a buttery smooth user experience. And because Svelte updates the DOM surgically, without a virtual DOM, it's incredibly performant even for animation-heavy applications. But speed isn't the only thing Svelte has going for it. The developer experience is where Svelte really shines. The syntax is incredibly clean and minimal, with almost zero boilerplate, and the way Svelte handles reactivity is just elegant. You just write reactive assignments like you would in any other programming language, and Svelte takes care of the rest. Plus, with SvelteKit, Svelte's official application framework, you get all the tools you need for routing, server-side rendering, and building full-fledged web applications. Svelte is perfect for developers who prioritize performance above all else. If you're building a content-heavy website, an interactive dashboard, or anything where speed is critical, Svelte should be at the top of your list. It's also a great choice for solo developers and small teams who want a framework that gets out of their way and lets them focus on building great experiences. Next up we've got SolidJS. Now if you're coming from the React world, SolidJS is going to look awfully familiar. It uses JSX just like React, but under the hood it's doing things a little differently. SolidJS ditches the virtual DOM entirely and opts for a more granular approach to reactivity. What does that mean? Basically, SolidJS figures out exactly which parts of your UI need to update when data changes, and it only updates those parts. The result? Performance that's on par with Svelte. Some even say it's the fastest framework out there. We're talking near instant reactivity with minimal overhead. Now the learning curve for SolidJS is definitely less steep if you've already got some React under your belt. But even if you're new to the game, Solid's documentation is pretty great, and the community is growing fast. SolidJS is an excellent choice for performance-critical applications, especially if you're already comfortable with React's syntax and concepts. If you love React but wish it were a bit leaner and a lot faster, SolidJS is definitely worth checking out. Last but not least, we have Qwik, the new kid on the block that's already making waves. Qwik is built around a radical idea: resumability. See, most frameworks spend a lot of time rehydrating your application on the client side after the server sends over the initial HTML. Qwik skips that whole process. Instead, it picks up right where the server left off, making for insanely fast load times and a truly instant-on user experience. This makes Qwik perfect for situations where performance is absolutely critical, like content-heavy websites, e-commerce platforms, and applications targeting users with slow connections or older devices. Now, Qwik is still relatively new, so the tooling and ecosystem aren't as mature as some of the other frameworks on this list, but the Qwik team is moving crazy fast, and they've already got a solid foundation with Qwik City, their full-stack web development framework. The developer experience is definitely improving, and the community is growing rapidly. If you're building for the edge, prioritizing performance above all else, or just want to explore the future of front-end development, Qwik is worth a serious look. It might just be the framework that finally cracks the code on instant loading and truly resumable web applications. So there you have it, the top 5 front-end frameworks you need to know in 2025. Each one has its own sweet spot. Want ecosystem support and job security? React's got your back. Clean syntax, a great developer experience, and blazing fast speed? Svelte or SolidJS might be your jam. Need edge performance and SEO that's off the charts? Give Qwik a try. And Vue? It's the all-around friendly choice that's perfect for teams of all sizes and projects big and small. Each framework has its own sweet spot. Want ecosystem support? React. Clean syntax and speed? Svelte or Solid. Need edge performance and SEO? Try Qwik. And Vue? It's your all-around friendly choice. If you want a deep dive into any of these, drop a comment and hit subscribe. Which one are you using in 2025? Let me know below.